Hey everybody, Big Andrew here, the world's strongest phlebotomist, here with the Upgrade Fitness Consulting Network, and I'm in my home gym back home in Northeast Tennessee. Of course, last week was the World Strength Games in St. George, Utah. My first time going to Utah, my first time going to the World Strength Games, competing in the Masters class, super heavyweight. Had a great time, had a wonderful time, really fun competition, really beautiful setting. To get to spend a week in the desert away from all these Tennessee allergies was really kind of nice. It was refreshing, even though it was the desert. It was over 90 degrees the whole time we were there, but it was very dry, it wasn't as humid, and like I said, not as much allergens as we have here in Tennessee. I want to give you a quick recap of how things went at the World Strength Games, and then bring you up to date on what the future holds for the world's strongest phlebotomist. First off, we had two competitions running. One at my local gym sponsor, Victory Fit in Jonesboro, Tennessee, and then one online on my Instagram page to guess what my contest weight was going to be. Now, they weighed us in kilos the Thursday before the event being Friday, Saturday, a 2-day event. And I weighed in at 146.7 kilos, I believe it was, which translates to about 323.48 pounds. The two that won, Walker R on Instagram, he won with a guess of 322 pounds, and Ben G in Victory Fit won with a guess of 323 pounds, 0.48 pounds off of what the actual weight was. It was the closest. I've never seen anybody get that close. A lot of great guesses. We had some pretty close guesses, and I appreciate everybody that played along with those two t-shirt giveaways. Of course, I'm getting both those shorts printed right now, and I'm going to get those to their respective winners. So congratulations to Walker and to Ben for their contributions to this competition and guesses that they gave for that. And good for them. Now, the competition itself, this is the heaviest I've ever come in for a competition ever. Second heaviest being 319 pounds. It was 318 and change, almost 319 pounds. My very first competition back in Columbia, Missouri, the Strongman Challenge, Columbia, Missouri Central USA Strongman Challenge. Back then, it was a great competition. My very first comp, done several years ago, and I really loved it. Really gave me a taste for what it was like to compete in strongman, which is something I wanted to do since I was a really little kid, like 2-3 years old. This opportunity to go out to Utah and compete at the world level was something I was almost unable to do, mainly because it's not cheap to get out to Utah from where I live. Had the entrance fee paid, taken care of, and all that. And the day I got released from my doctor after my shoulder surgery last year, the day I got released to train and to compete, that was the day I got a message from the promoter of World Strength Games to come and compete. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. I guess I'll do it. So I want to thank the people that made it possible for me to go out there. My gym sponsor, Victory Fit here in Jonesboro, giving me the facilities and everything I needed. Another gym that has since closed, they had issues with the landlord, was Phoenix Fitness. They've moved to another town, and they have a new name. I think it's called the Doe River Barbell now, but it was Phoenix Fitness there. And that was a gym that helped me rebuild my overhead press, which was helpful for the log, and train farmer's walk and a few little mobility things that I just didn't have access to either at home or at Victory Fit. So they had some special equipment there that helped me do that, and I appreciated them letting me use their facility. Like I said, it is since closed now, but for the time that I was there, it helped me a lot. It helped me get to some PRs and rebuild my strength, and more importantly, my confidence. Victory Fit, though, the guys there that I train with and work around, the people that support me there, the owners there, Tanya and Jesse, It's a great place. If you live in the area and you're looking for a good gym, Victory Fit is a fantastic place to go and visit. Definitely give them a shot. Inexpensive compared to some of the other gyms. It's right, on the lower end of average for their monthly fees. And they've got sauna, they've got tanning, they've got all kinds of new machines. They're putting in stuff all the time. And they're constantly keeping them clean, updated. A bunch of the machines right now are getting reupholstered. They do this regularly, it seems. Every so many months, or at least once a year, they reupholster certain machines to keep them looking nice and clean and fresh. It's a great thing. These people are really, really invested, not only in the gym equipment itself, but in the community and in the people that come to the gym. So take some time, go see Victory Fit in Jonesboro, Tennessee, if you're in the area. And if you're just driving through the area, you're going to be here for a little while. It's also a great place just to stop in, get yourself a day or a week pass or however long you're going to be here, and go train. It's 24 hours. You can use an app to get in and out. I mean, it's fantastic. Definitely give them a shot. And if you're looking for personal training, they have several really good personal trainers there. They will be glad to help you on your way to your fitness goals. Now, for me, the competition didn't go the way I was hoping. I'll just be honest. I was really gunning for a podium. I really wanted to win. I figured this would be a great comeback for me. I had 2 major surgeries in the last couple of years, several injuries that kind of held me back and kept me off the podium at different things and kept me from being able to compete, even train to compete. It's not an easy thing to deal with when you're somebody like me who stays pretty competitive all the time, is always competing with something and enjoys it as much as they do. And if you've had injuries in your fitness journey, you know what I'm talking about. Well, it didn't go as well as I'd planned, but it was a great comeback just the same. I ended up finishing 7th out of 8 in my category. Not a lot to brag about there, to not come in last, because the guy that came in 8th came in injured and zeroed 5 of the 6 events on purpose to save himself for the one event that he was trying to get the new world record on, which was the farmer's walk. And he could have done it. He got really close. He didn't quite make it, but he worked really hard for that one event because he was injured. He couldn't compete in the other things like the log press and the truck pull and things like that. So it's really not that great to say I came in 7th and out of 8th, because the truth is it's last place. Let's just say it was last place. There were over 20 guys in my category. Only 8 of them showed up, and only 7 of them competed. So there you go. Things that kept me off the podium, though. Now, I'm taking this as a moral victory. It's a half of a victory. Nobody really likes a moral victory because it's kind of a cop-out. But I did set 3 personal records, 3 PRs in this competition. First off, the one that I'm most proud of is my Farmer's Walk PR. I train Farmer's Walk probably less than I should, because I kind of take my grip strength for granted and have really good trap strength. So if I get a hold of something, I can hold it pretty well. The most I've been able to get in training was 245 pounds a hand. That's the most. I haven't been able to put more than that on the bar, mainly because the handles I was using really wouldn't hold a whole lot. And the weights that I was moving and stuff, I didn't have time to train it very much. So I did a lot of grip training and hand strengthening and conditioning instead. 245 was the most I've ever been able to get a hold of on the bar. So I was happy with 245. When I got to the competition, the way this competition works is you selected the weight you were going to move. And I saw a lot of people were selecting weights higher than what I was going to try to hit. And I thought, well, I've got to hit something big. I've got to set a PR. So I made a jump. I did 225 for my first round, and I got to select a second round after that. And my second round was going to be 270 pounds. This 270-pound Farmer's Walk is a 25-pound PR over everything else. So 275 pounds, 70 pounds a hand. Carried that for 50 feet. I dropped it a couple times. The last drop was right at the finish line. What happened was, you probably can't really see it too well right now because it's been several days. It's healing up. But my callus right here under my middle finger, which carries a lot of the weight, tore at the very end. And not only did it tear, it tore a chunk of flesh out with it. It didn't just like pop the callus like a blister. It pulled a piece of my hand out with it. And when it did that, it slipped out of my left hand and overweighted my right side, and I fell over. When I fell over, I landed on the apparatus and busted my kneecap. I've got a kneecap injury. It's pretty significant. I mean, I can still move, I can still walk and everything. It probably won't need any real medical intervention, but it's enough to where I can't really do certain things with that leg. And if I touch it or bump it, whatever, it feels like somebody's trying to stab me with a cattle prod. It hurts. And then I had a few other injuries following, but that was the main one. And of course, my hand. I was able to finish it. Like I said, I was at the finish line. I think I dropped the left one like a foot behind the finish line. And Travis Ortmeyer was the judge, so I just picked it up. He said, just get it over the line. So I picked it up, threw it over the line, and I was done. So it's a 25-pound PR. I'm probably the most proud of that PR of the three that I set. My other PR hit a 200-pound log. I had 230, 240 in me, but the fact is I panicked in warm-ups. Had a hard time getting the log clean. I've not been able to practice my clean a whole lot because I don't have a regular size log to train on. I've got kegs, little plastic logs, and things like that. So my clean has never been very good. I really need to work on that clean. If I'd had the clean, I probably would have hit 230, 240 on the log, and that would have been a big PR, because the most I've ever been able to lift in competition and get credit for is 0, because the last competition I had that had a log, I couldn't lock out a 205 log. It was just my brain shut off. I had back injuries. I could make all kinds of excuses. The fact of the matter is, I just didn't have it that day. I don't know why I didn't have it that day. But I hit a 200-pound log in competition. That's the biggest log I've ever had. Even Travis said I should have gone for heavier. I could have. Now, getting that heavier log probably would have put me in contention for the podium, because of the weights the other guys hit. It would have put me right there in that top 3, no questions. But it is what it is. And then I hit a 755-pound yoke. We got to call our own weights for the yoke. My opener, all right, we had 2 lifts. We had an opener and a second lift. My opener was 755 pounds. That was the heaviest yoke opener for my class. The heaviest. I beat everybody on the yoke opener. Everybody. And I picked it up. I carried it for 50 feet. No problem. I think I put it down one time to readjust a little bit. And then bam, right over the line. Had no issues. The second lift would have put me in first place in the yoke. There's another guy there. His second lift was going to be 835 on the yoke. And I said, well, just give me 845. Give me 10 pounds. I'll beat him by 10 pounds. That's enough to get first place in the yoke. I love the yoke. Yoke is probably my favorite. Yoke, squat, tire flip. Man, those right there, that's my stuff. I love that stuff. And I went under the bar. I got it up, but I had set the pin too high. I wasn't taking into account how much pressure it was going to put on my spine. So the pin was too high, so I was barely getting it off the ground, so I couldn't control it. And it cost me, because I only got about 25 of the 50 feet in the time allotted. And I had to just bow out and say, okay, I'll take second place. So I ended up splitting second place with 2 other guys who also lifted 755, both of them on their second attempt, mine on my first. And then there was, of course, a big tie with the log press. I think I tied with 3 or 4 other guys that all did 200 pounds, which, like I said, if I'd done more, I would have beat them. I was literally 5-10 pounds away from beating these guys. And the fun ones, of course, were the garbage truck pull. I've never been able to pull a truck, never had a truck to pull for training. I've done tires. You might have seen videos. I've got lots of tires here in my home gym. I stack them, pull them with a harness on a chain, and just kind of work on my grit there and everything. The hard part was getting it started. Once I figured out how to get it started with Travis Ortmeyer, of course, standing right here screaming in my ear how to do it and everything, then I could have pulled it 100 feet. I didn't feel anything. I was like, wow, I got it moving. I'm just going to keep this momentum. And I was pulling. I had a rope assist. I think the rope at one point started slowing me down. I threw it to the side and just kept pulling with just put my head down and just bury my shoulders into it. And I was able to even go faster after that and pick up speed. It was a lot of fun to do that. The truck weighed somewhere, I got different things. People said probably about 36,000 pounds. The driver of the truck said it might be more than 50,000, but most people agreed it was around at least 36,000 pounds, maybe more. And that was fun, man. That was a blast. Got to deadlift the car. Never had a chance to deadlift the car. I trained really hard for that. That was something I was really worried about because I've never done it before. And I worked my butt off for 4 straight months. All I did was heavy trap bar deadlifts, practicing with timing, how many I can get in a minute at a heavy weight, how I could put my hands, the best place to put my hands, different straps, different amounts of chalk, different places to put my feet, narrow, wide stance, everything, because I wanted to have it all done. So for 4 straight months, I trained that like it was the only thing on the planet to train. Excuse me, I worked so hard on that. And I was able to eke out 6 reps of the car deadlift in a minute. I know I could have done more. I'm not going to say probably. I know I could have done more. I probably had double digits in me. But thanks to my little callus issue here that happened in the event right before it, I had some tape on my hands to keep the blood in, to keep my callus on. And the tape kept pulling and was getting in my way. So I had to stop halfway through, rip the tape off and go back, strap back in and go back to lifting. Once I strapped back in, I got reps just literally at this speed. Like, this is how fast I was going. I had easy double digits in me had I not had that issue. Getting double digits in that would have put me up higher in the rankings. Just like getting a few extra pounds in the log lift would have put me higher in the rankings. Here's what cost me points. Now, it is not up to me to critique the rules of anybody's competition. It's not up to me. I am a competitor. It is my job to compete. It is my job to do the best that I can. And if I don't do the best that I can, I have to deal with the consequences. Truth is, there were a couple events I could have done better. The stone carry I could have done better, and the log lift I could have done better. I know that for sure, even with no other issues. So those 2 I could have done better on, and that could have done a lot more to get me higher up in the rankings, maybe even put me on the podium. That's my fault. The other events and the rules that kept me from getting higher up cost me a little bit. Like I said, I'm not here to question the rules. I'm not here to question why the rules are the way they are. It's not my job. It bothered me at first, if I'm being honest. I was a little upset. I was pretty angry. Let's just be honest. I was pretty angry. I was a little upset by it, and then I just thought, you know what? It's not my problem. It's not my job to make the rules. It's my job to follow the rules and to do the best darn job I can. The way it worked at World Strength Games is a unique thing where if 2 guys or 3 guys or however many people tied at a certain weight, like let's say log lift or yoke or something where you pick the weight, then whoever weighed the least in body weight got the most points. In my group, there was 1 guy heavier than I was. 1. And I, being the second heaviest guy, tied with some guys who were lighter than I was. Some of them by a couple pounds, some of them by a dozen pounds or more. And if we all lifted, let's say the 200-pound log, whoever weighed the least got the most points, and then it just decreased from there. What that means is guys that I beat in other things, like beat them in the car deadlift or beat them in the yoke or whatever, ended up getting more points than I did because they weighed less than I do. And I tied with other people, and they maybe didn't tie. I outlifted half the guys in my field, probably, maybe more. There were guys who zeroed on the car deadlift who ended up higher in the rankings than I did because either they didn't tie with people or they weighed less than I did. While I don't necessarily fully understand or appreciate that rule, that's not my job. It's not. I know I could have done better in 2 of the 6 events Had I done better, this would not even be a question. So I'm not blaming the people that set the events up. I'm not blaming the people that wrote the rules for why I placed the way I did. I'm explaining why I placed the way I did. I could have done better. I should have probably placed higher, but it is what it is. I mean, what are you going to do about it? Now, what's next for the world's strongest phlebotomist? Next is to lose some body weight. I'm on a journey now. This being the end of May. We just came past Memorial Day. And by Labor Day, which is around my youngest daughter's birthday, by Labor Day, I want to be under 300 pounds. Not only that, I want to be under 300 pounds with a low body fat. I have just bought a new scale to help measure body fat and measure my weight and to track these things, and I will be posting these things regularly. I'll be changing my diet up. I'll be working on these things, working on fitness and cardiovascular fitness. I'm not doing a whole lot of it this week because I'm sore. I hurt. My legs hurt. My back hurts. My chest is still tight from pulling things. So I just hurt. I'm tight all over. But I am working on losing some weight. I'm going to be under 300 pounds by Labor Day. Now, how I get there is going to depend on a few factors, and I'll be posting more about that, talking about that. But this is part of my upgrade fitness and wellness consulting business. Starting up with a nutrition coaching and fitness coaching business and consulting business. I want to help people. And the best way to help people is to show them that I can help myself. My wife says she's going to go on this journey with me. She's got her own body goals, and I will post whatever she is okay with my posting. I'm not going to do anything that she doesn't want to do because this is her stuff. It's her goal. But for me, this is where I'm headed. I'm going to get under 300 pounds body weight and try to maintain as much mass as I can. I put on 15 pounds for this competition from the end of December to last week, May 20th, 21st, whatever the day the weigh-ins were. So I put on that much weight, 15 pounds in about 5 months. That's really not bad, about 3 pounds a month. Put a lot of that on the last probably 2 months because I kind of petered at around 313 and then added more protein and a few extra carbs to my diet, and I got bigger fast. I'm going to be changing my diet up. I'm going to be eating less of the brisket steaks that I do all the time and doing more leaner meats and trying to reduce the fat intake that I have, trying to reduce the carbohydrate intake that I do a little bit to focus more on greens and fruits and things like that. Because I do get some carbs from potatoes and other things in my diet, and I'm going to be changing that up. And I'll be doing it through the summer, which in my family we call birthday season. We have 4 kids. All 4 of their birthdays are June, July, August, September, like that. I have my anniversary. I have my mom's birthday. I have my sister's birthday. I have a lot of other events going on through the summer. So this is not going to be easy, but this is going to be something that we'll be focusing on through the next several months. So, going through all these things, explaining everything that happened, I want to again thank my family for their generosity and for their support through this time as we went through all these months of training, all these months of prep, all the money, the time, everything it took to get to the World Strength Games last week. I want to thank all of them for the sacrifices and the selflessness that they made and the cheering for me that they did. I want to thank my wife for going with me. I could not have done the things that I did without her. She was such a help in suggesting where we stayed. So we rented a condo so we could control the diet and everything like that, cook our own meals most of the time. We had a great time too. I'm not going to say we didn't have a good time. She loved it. It was her first time out west, and we had a really, really good time out there. I want to thank her, thank my kids for all the sacrifices that they did. They sacrificed a lot of time with their dad. They sacrificed a lot of playtime. If dad wasn't training or working or eating, he was napping. It was it. Things are going to change now. I'm going to be around a lot more. I'll be able to play through the football and baseball and stuff with them. So there'll be time to spend time with my kids before I start prepping for the next competition. And there will be more competitions. I was on the fence about it. I'm going to compete again. I'm hoping to compete at World Strength Games again next year, which means I'll be posting things when I start getting ready for those events. I want to thank again my sponsors. I want to thank Max Performance Peptides for their willingness to work with me. I used very few peptides through this prep, just as a way of testing myself differently. But I do believe in peptides. I believe peptides are very good, and I will have more information on that hopefully soon. If you go to Max Performance Peptides, Max Performance Instagram, you just click the link there on the page. Use my code BigAndrewK10. You get 10% off of your peptides there. And I want to thank Victory Fit in Jonesboro. Fantastic gym, great place to train. I've really, really enjoyed working with these people this time around. And now let's just look forward to see what's going on next, what's going to happen with World's Strongest Phlebotomist, Upgrade Nutrition, and Fitness Consulting, and all that. So for now, go out there, have fun, set your own goals, make your own goals, and let's see what's coming up next. All right.